Best part about this, not only is it trade news, it's trade news that might involve the Dallas Mavericks, folks. And we're not talking about Jimmy Butler trade stuff. I will not speak on Jimmy Butler trade stuff until the trade deadline. Okay, that's something that unless it's in an article or something that we're looking at, I don't want to discuss Jimmy Butler trade stuff. I don't give a shit any longer. All right. New Siegel scoops. Okay, all right. Hey, I like a Siegel scoop. I like the Haynes briefs. I mean, I like it. I like everyone saw Woj bomb and they said I need to get my own. I need to get my own. I like it. Siegel scoops, good. That's a good one. And maybe he's been saying this. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't. You guys, I don't keep up with trade slop until we get to around this time. Avoid paying full price. I thought they got rid of these things. All right, let's see it. This is an article by Brett Siegel over on clutchpoints.com. Paul with the 2. Hey, can we talk about Jimmy Butler? Hey, did you see the latest Jimmy Butler? Less than 3 weeks stand between now and the February 6th NBA trade deadline. Damn, that's crazy. I'm going to have to do my trade prediction soon. See the Mavs Digest Nico video? So I haven't watched the video, but I was DMing him. My man Marcel. Love Marcel. I really do. I think he's a great guy. I haven't watched the video, but I think I know what it was about. I guess the guy who was the source also tweeted me and Nick, and I was joking around. I was like, ask him about Herb. And I never saw that he replied, but he did. I always take that shit with such a big grain of salt, to be honest with you. I respect that. Respect to that guy for thinking of me whenever he saw Nico Harrison, but I always take that shit with a grain of salt. I hate digest clickbait titles. I think they're hilarious. I think they're so funny. And the game is the game. You got to understand that. I like Marcel, but I hate posting screenshots of this guy's actually an insider. Shouldn't you protect sourcing? Oh, is that what he did? He protect. I need to go and watch the video. I haven't watched it yet. But no, I mean, if the guy's cool with it, which I think the guy was cool with it, you don't have to protect sourcing. All right, so here's what the guy tweeted me. I'm at the Mavs Pels game. I'm sitting next to Nico. Ask him about Herb Jones. I did. You'll never guess his answer. And I never saw that, and that was it. I mean, a GM's not going to tell a fan at the game, like, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm trading for Herb Jones right now, actually." And then it was like, he was on the phone the whole game. It's like, yeah, well, I would kind of hope so. I mean, these guys are probably on their phone. It'd be funny if he was just on, like, you know, playing Clash of Clans. Following the Phoenix Suns' deal to acquire big man Nick Richards, yet the biggest rumors regarding the Suns in the NBA trade market as a whole revolve around Jimmy Butler. Is Wordle still a thing? Whether or not Butler will be traded is the question everyone around the league has been asking for weeks. Still, there's no clarity about what exactly the Heat will do. On one hand, Pat Riley and the Heat's front office have actively searched the market for a trade that makes sense. This has been met with Phoenix being the only hardcore trade suitor for Butler. However, the Suns' only path to completing a trade with the Heat involves Bradley Beal, who Miami holds zero interest in. It ain't happening, man. I mean, once you really let that click, it ain't happening. Who is going to do it? Look around the league. Who's going to do it? Raptors? I don't even think the Raptors want to do it. It wasn't part of the reporting there for the Raptors. Paul at the 2, yay, Butler talk. Thank you. You guys are welcome for the Jimmy Butler talk. We got sucked in. Literally 30 seconds after I said I'm done talking about it. But wasn't part of the Raptors thing was like, yeah, we'll take contracts. Not Beal, though. We'll take contracts, though. We'll take other contracts. We don't want Bradley Beal's contract, but any other contract we're in on. But then, yeah, what if Beal says, I don't want to fucking go to Toronto. I don't want to play in Canada. Now what? Butler was given a 7-game suspension by the Heat amid all. Okay, can we just I'm skimming through the Butler stuff right now to see if there's any actual real interesting tidbits here. He's supposed to potentially play tonight. We shall see how that all goes. Butler wants his way. Truly goes to Phoenix. Is like you have to wait until the offseason. How is that even going to work? Like, how would it even work then? So the Bucks actually, let's actually talk about this because the Bucks are actually a little bit interesting now. It kind of makes sense. They're sort of desperate. They're old. They're very old. Chris Middleton's been coming off the bench. I could see a world in which that happens. They'd have to do some clever maneuvering, though. Miami wouldn't necessarily be inclined to make a deal with an Eastern Conference rival. Man, you guys aren't winning shit. Just be serious with yourselves, okay? I hate that. We don't want to trade him to a rival. You guys aren't winning a fucking thing. It doesn't matter. This has been done by Butler's camps for a few teams, one of which was the Memphis Grizzlies. That was interesting that the Grizzlies were interested. That was a little bit interesting. Okay. Can we get past the Jimmy Butler part of this? Yes, I was just about to ask, would the Heat be super interested in Chris Middleton, or could that be a rerouted thing? And then yes, the Kevin Love, I'm not fucking leaving speech Leonardo DiCaprio gave while portraying Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street with the caption, "Live look, Jimmy after his meeting with Mickey got my joy back on Thursday afternoon." Jimmy Butler liked the post. Okay. Strange. All right, here we go. We're past the Jimmy Butler stuff. Thank God. I didn't know that they had headers. Otherwise, I would have just skipped right through that. My bad, guys. All right, Cam Johnson. We've heard nothing about Cam Johnson recently. It's getting to the point where, I don't know. I'd kind of be surprised if he gets traded at this point. After trading Dennis Schroeder to the Golden State Warriors and then dealing Dorian Finney-Smith to the Los Angeles Lakers, the big question about the Brooklyn Nets revolves around Cam Johnson. Out of any player in the league, Johnson is the one who's generated the most buzz leading up to the trade deadline. Could be the best player traded at this deadline. While landing Schroeder, the Warriors also attempted to swing a deal for Johnson to add another secondary scorer on the wing. While the Nets' asking price exceeded first-round draft assets and young talent, Golden State backed out of the pursuit of Johnson, who is turning 29 on March 3rd. They should be asking for quite a bit. The Lakers also expressed interest. Johnson commands a vast trade market, sources says, with several playoff contending teams continuing to monitor his status. The Sacramento Kings, which got a great win last night against the Houston Rockets. That game was incredible. That was an incredible game, an incredible ending. Jalen Green, is it happening? I don't know. Let's not talk ourselves too much into the Jalen Green stuff. But damn, he's playing out of his fucking mind. He's playing out of his mind. But the Kings, who I would have kind of scoffed at this a few weeks ago, maybe. Dude, they've been good. And they look pretty damn good. Cam Johnson would be pretty interesting on that team. He'd be really interesting on that team. I'm out on every Ignite draft pick. Dude, he's been good, though. Indiana Pacers, they've been really good. That was a fun game. I was watching that game on the stair stepper at the gym. You know, we're not the same, guys. You know, the film grinding, we're just not the same. I'm watching Pistons Pacers games on the stair stepper. What do you want me to tell you? Tim Hardaway Jr. had 12 of the Pistons' first 14 points in this game, by the way. Shout out to him. Seriously. He's been really good. And Malik Threasley. And then Isaiah Stewart and Pascal Siakam got into it. Miles Turner came up to like break things up. Isaiah Stewart goes, "Don't you play with Legos?" Fucked up, man. Nothing wrong with Legos. Legos are cool. But my number one thing that was in my head when I was watching that game was Isaiah Stewart. Why on earth would the Pistons trade him? He always gets brought up. Mavs fans always bring him up. Really, any fan base brings him up because they just look at the Pistons like, well, they've been shit forever, so they're probably trading guys. They should not and will not trade him. The Orlando Magic are interested in Cam Johnson. That would fit like a glove. Yes, Isaiah Stewart did say that, yes. And the Memphis Grizzlies fit like a glove. Oh, man, that would be disgusting. Peace out, Em. With that said, many are questioning if the Nets would be reluctant to negotiate with Memphis due to the Grizzlies' attempt to undermine them during discussions for Finney Smith. Drama! The Magic are an obvious suitor for Johnson given their need for floor spacer on the wing next to Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. As a team, Orlando is shooting just 30% from three. Jesus. 30? I mean, I knew it was bad. How comfortably are they in last? 30%? God damn. Orlando give us 1 first for Clay. Dude. I mean, kudos to them. 30%, that's last by a lot. Like the next closest is 33%, and that's Washington. And 3 percentage points is a lot. Like just for a frame of reference, 3 percentage points is the same distance between Washington, who's 29th, and the Clippers, who are 14th. Crazy. 30. Jesus. Johnson has shot 42% from deep this season and ranks 23rd in the league with 107 made threes. He's good. He's really good. As for the Pacers, they recently held brief trade negotiations with the Nets regarding Johnson. Sources said if Indiana emerges as a top suitor for Johnson between now and the trade deadline, they would need to find a way to come up with close to $27 million in outgoing salaries to account for his apron salary due to incentive bonuses. Oh, that makes it difficult. That makes it difficult. And I'm assuming we've seen mock trades, Pacers, Cam Johnson mock trades, and almost all of them include Jarris Walker. Dude, Jarris Walker's been playing really, really good basketball lately. Shout out to my guy, Jarris Walker. He looks good. He looks like a legit NBA player. We're reading this article right here about, I'm assuming they're going to talk about Daniel Gafford and the Mavs. Who's my rival? My rival's main? It's Mantis. Sacramento has checked in on Johnson's status numerous times throughout the season, both before and after deciding to fire Mike Brown. The Kings continue to search the market for upgrades, using Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles as their 2 main trade assets. It remains unlikely that the team would be willing to part ways with Keegan Murray or rookie guard Devin Carter, which could be a deal breaker for Brooklyn regarding Johnson. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. Woo! Yeah, I don't. It kind of sounds like Cam Johnson might stay put. I feel like the Grizzlies could put together a pretty interesting package of those teams that he mentioned. The Pacers, like if Jarris Walker were available, that's a very interesting package. Which I don't know in his recent play if he would be. What were the other teams that we mentioned? The Magic could add some young players in there that are interesting. It would come as a surprise to many around the league if Oklahoma City Thunder were to break up parts of their locker room to pursue Johnson. At the same time, the Thunder could easily land Johnson given their plethora of assets. Man, I think if there's a deal there, they should do it. I don't know, though. We're not in the locker room. They might not want to mess up this tight-knit group or whatever, but if they feel like they can make it work for like Isaiah Joe and some other stuff, with like Isaiah Joe being the main rotation guy that goes out, maybe even Aaron Wiggins, but I really like him. God, that would be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Although the Houston Rockets have also been mentioned in league circles as a possible destination for Johnson, this organization has made it clear they don't want to sacrifice any parts of their young core unless trade discussions are centered around a star. Yeah, I don't see Cam Johnson making a lot of sense for the Rockets. Yeah, they're holding out for a guard. The Cavs would be sick. They don't have the pieces, though. Yeah, they don't have like any first-round picks to give up. Could Blazers reshape Western Conference as trade deadline sellers? Who's going to want Ayton? Robert Williams, I see, he's like just commanding a few second-round picks. Not to mention the Dallas Mavericks and Minnesota Timberwolves both find themselves in the play-in region of the standings. Well, put some context there, buddy. Put some context. There's a big unknown right now as many organizations are watching Portland to see if they will be true sellers over the next few weeks. Last season, Portland approached the deadline with caution and only made one move to add Delano Banton. Is that really all they did? Didn't Brogdon spend the whole year there? Mavs choose not to protest the loss for the Pelicans, really? I mean, protesting wouldn't have worked. It only really works if they incorrectly implement a rule or incorrectly or fuck up a ruling. The last time it worked, they said Shaq fouled out of the game when he only had 5. At the very top of the trade deadline questionnaire list for the Blazers is the status of former Boston Celtics center Robert Williams. What would be the point of not trading him? Like if a team were to say, hey, like we know he's injured, we know he plays 5 games a season, but we'll trade you a few second-round picks just to take the risk that maybe he's healthy. We need some center depth. Like, do it. If you're the Blazers, do that. Say yes to that immediately. All of the trading inquiries that Portland has received for their big men have been met with a level of hesitancy, as Williams was a player the Blazers specifically wanted when negotiating a Drew Holiday trade with the Celtics in 2023. Stop fucking around, man. Portland truly views the 27-year-old as a positive asset, and they would be more than comfortable keeping him on their roster through the end of the 24-25 season. Sadly, would there be a better stonewall defense with Luka and Dinny in the league, just standing there and letting defenders run into you? Is Dinny for real in the market? At some point, the Blazers will be forced to make some decisions in their front court with Williams clinging and former first overall pick DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, Ayton. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way Ayton has a trade market. Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant are 2 other discussed talents. You fucked up on the Jeremy Grant front. Set to turn 31 in March. Grant has seen his role decline drastically with the Blazers this season. 15 points per game, 13 shot attempts. You fucked up there. Although the organization still values what Grant brings to the table, many around the league have wondered if the Blazers would look to sell high on him while they can. However, the market for players 30 or older have not been kind to teams as of late, especially after seeing Schroeder and Finney-Smith be traded for second-round assets. Is it true they could have gotten a first-round pick for him last year and they turned it down? Or am I just misremembering things? Am I misremembering things? Trailblazers have lowered their asking price on Jeremy Grant. Portland would be willing to part with Grant for 1 first-round pick and a promising young prospect instead of 2 first-round picks. Oh, okay, great. This is from... Wow. The Lakers were willing to trade 2 first-round picks for Jeremy Grant before Pelinka backed out. That sounds a little... That sounds almost unbelievable, to be honest with you. Grant could be a very valuable talent for multiple playoff contending teams around the league, which makes him another under-the-radar type of player to keep an eye on ahead of the trade deadline. I still think Jeremy Grant could be good for a team, for sure. What is he, year 2 on that 5-year deal? 31 years old. The possibility of Grant suddenly becoming the best player to be moved at the deadline is real. Oh, God. Jesus. As far as Simons and his future with the Blazers, dude, he's been in trade talks forever. Probably ever since he came into the league. Crazy he was in the same draft class as Luka. The organization is not opposed to hearing offers for the 25-year-old guard. Neither the Blazers nor Simons are actively seeking a trade yet. It does appear as if this team is beginning to give more opportunities to Scoot Henderson as the primary guard in their backcourt. Simons is nasty. I'd be interested to see what his market would be. Oh, that's it. Oh, wait, no. This is a long article. Here we go. Western Conference buyers emerging. Here comes the big news. Several teams of the Western Conference are actively searching the market for upgrades at the trade deadline. Other teams like the Kings, Grizzlies, Dallas Mavericks, LA Clippers, and Denver Nuggets have been exploring the possibility of secondary additions. Let's go. Sacramento continues to be one of the more intriguing teams to follow ahead of the trade deadline. They've seemed like they're busy. Not only pertaining to their pursuit of Cam Johnson, but also as a team that could shift their focus to Grant. I always thought Jeremy Grant was good on the Kings. I think in the offseason prediction video I did this past offseason, and I think at the trade deadline prediction video I did last year, I'm trying to remember. I've had Kyle Kuzma going to the Kings like 5 different times. John Collins. There was some John Collins rumors recently. Was that for the Kings? There was a John Collins rumor going around, actually. What team was that for? Was it Sacramento? The Jazz and Kings have, this is from Evan Sidiria, Incendiary Bomb. The Jazz and Kings have conducted exploratory trade talks centered on John Collins. Sacramento can make salaries work while avoiding the tax by including Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. That'd be kind of interesting. Are other bigger names available? Many anticipate the Kings pulling off a decent-sized move before the trade deadline by utilizing the contracts of Huerter and Lyles. There have been multiple teams that have contacted the Kings about all-star guard De'Aaron Fox. Sources said all of them have been met with a swift no, and Fox is not available whatsoever. Yeah, there was maybe a time earlier in the season, around the time Mike Brown got fired, where it was like, dude, could Fox get traded between now and the trade deadline? Disappointment is the best word that can describe the Mavs and Timberwolves this season after they faced off against one another in the Western Conference Finals last season. I mean, these teams are not comparable in their level of disappointment. Okay? Like, let me defend my boys a little bit here. These teams are not very comparable. While injuries have limited Dallas's, okay, thank you, overall potential during the first half of the season, chemistry has been the issue for Minnesota ever since they traded Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. The Mavs are currently 22-19, whereas the Wolves are 21-19. Despite their tight cap situation, the Mavericks have been active in trade discussions, as general manager Nico Harrison has proven that he isn't afraid to make aggressive moves to bolster his team's chances of winning right now. Last season, Harrison went out. I'm kind of excited about this. I haven't heard any real rumors for the Mavs. Harrison went out and added PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, 2 moves that ultimately helped Dallas make it to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2011. Once again, Harrison and his staff have been searching the market for a key two-way wing, sources said. Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, Jane Hardy, and Olivier Maxence Prosper are the main assets the Mavs can utilize to explore possible upgrades at the trade deadline. It's not a great grouping of names. As far as draft assets, Dallas has 1 second-round pick in 2025 to their name, and they can trade their 2025 first-round pick outright, as well as their 2031 one, right? It would be a surprise if the Mavs moved either Gafford or Washington, and there's been some pushback to the idea of them trading Quentin Grimes due to Luka Doncic's and Kyrie Irving's injury concerns. Then again, Gafford could be their path to an immediate upgrade on the wing. If they were serious about trading away the center, there could be a path to the Dallas pursuing Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. Oh, God. One interesting name that comes up in conversations about the Mavs is Utah Jazz veteran guard Jordan Clarkson. That was me on my Bleacher Report stream. That wasn't real reporting. That was me on my Bleacher Report stream, guys. Surely not, right? All I said was, I'm joking, obviously, but I was like, man, if the Mavs look at this, they're like, dude, we're fucked. Like, if we don't get, this is bad. Like, Luka's gonna be out a few more weeks. Kyrie's probably gonna, like, maybe 2 games a week if we're lucky. This is bad. We need another guard. Jordan Clarkson's kind of interesting. Now there's no way. Clarkson's around $13 million, I think, is what it was. I was trying to think if there's a John Collins and Clarkson combination that you could do trade-wise. Jazz interested in Maxi's complexion, and that's true. That is true. He probably holds more value for the Jazz than any other team in the league. Don't sleep on the Grizzlies either. They've got a nice collection of white guys. Besides, you see Jason Gallagher congratulating Trey Murphy for becoming the first community-noted highlight in NBA history. Dude, I'm still sick about that, man. I'm not going to lie. I close my eyes and envision like Jordan Clarkson being a terrible trade. I don't know what it is, but I just close my eyes and envision him shooting like 49% true shooting with the Mavs. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. I think that'd be a very reactionary move. I'm sure you could probably get Clarkson for like Maxey. I mean, in this trade, Hardy makes sense trading because you just have so many guards. And then like a second. But I really don't know. Unlike the Mavericks, there is a much different philosophy that exists in Minneapolis. The Timberwolves are essentially married to the roster that they have constructed with no real wiggle room to make moves around the edges before the trade deadline. Yeah, the Wolves probably aren't going to do much unless it's trading Julius Randle, which I would be shocked. No way they trade Dante DiVincenzo. None at all. What up, T-Love? What if Mavs can swing Hardy, Maxey, Gafford, and a first-round pick for Walker Kessler and Jordan Clarkson? Yeah, that'd be cool, but the Jazz aren't doing that. I'm just kind of scanning this article to see if we have any, like... to see if we have any, like, real big scoops. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, he's a quote machine, man. Wow, scouts are monitoring the Minnesota situation for Anthony Edwards stuff. The LA Clippers have flown under the radar all season. Nobody thought this team would be as good as they are, yet the Clippers own the fifth best record in the Western Conference at 23-17. This is why I say the Mavs just need to stay afloat and they'll be fine. 23-17 is the 5 seed, and it's the Clippers. With both Norman Powell and James Harden having all-star-like seasons, and now that Kawhi Leonard is back from his knee ailments, the Clippers have a chance to be a dangerous team in a 7-game playoff series. Yeah, that's true. The Clippers do have that PJ Tucker contract, Bones Highland. Like, they have money. Yeah, Robert Williams makes some sense. Chris Boucher, sure. Sexton is a player they hold interest in. Yeah, I feel like they need a front court guy more. Although another guard would be kind of nice. Boucher has been playing well. All right, this is a very long article. I respect it. That's about it. We have just a bunch of other like slop. Oh God, here's Kelly Olynyk mentioned. Your immediate thought on Jello's Tweaker? Good song. I wouldn't say immediate. It's been around for quite some time now. But there was also Evan Siddery, incendiary bomb. He's got some stuff to say. We're not done with slop just yet. Oh, shit. Evan Siddery's talking shit. Oh, Evan Siddery's begun. Hey, wait, what? He's leaving us? He's going to Pro Football Network to begin covering the NFL. This will not impact any of my NBA reporting. Okay. Thank the Lord because you're not an NBA source. Please stop the tweeting. Oh, man. And then he quote tweeted it and said, keep that same energy when I'm breaking stories this year in the two biggest American sports. Talk your shit, King. Talk your shit. A massive swing in odds on DK Sportsbook now favors Jimmy Butler to stay with the Heat past the trade deadline. God, I don't care at all about this. The Suns are open to trading their 2031 first-round pick in a deal for Jimmy Butler. God, they're the most annoying team. They're the most annoying team in sports. They are the most annoying team in sports. All right, fine. Bradley Beal wasn't cutting it. We'll include our first-round pick for Jimmy Butler. Oh, wow. You guys will. Great. Thank you. The Cavaliers are pursuing Cam Johnson on the trade market. Cleveland can match salaries with Brooklyn by including Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, and draft capital. God, that would be a fantastic fit. Losing Karis LeVert, though, would kind of hurt. Here's some of the big ones. Christian Clark, who is new. He's relatively new to covering the Mavs. He works for The Athletic. The Mavs have dangled Daniel Gafford in trade talks around the NBA to hopefully acquire an impact wing defender. Vando for Gafford. Let's see what some of these other fan bases are saying. Warriors need a big man, and Wiggins is a wing defender. I was about to say I would be in. I was about to say I could be talked into that pretty quickly. Vando for Gafford, disgusting. No thanks. Terrible idea. Maybe good for reg season, but come postseason, you're going to need multiple bigs. It's actually the opposite right there, buddy. Suns to make a play for Gafford. What would this look like, Suns fan? Please tell me, Suns fan. What the fuck do you think this trade would look like? 3-team trade where Grayson goes out for Gafford? No thanks, buddy. No, thank you. I was actually kind of thinking Cody Martin for the Mavs. Both teams have had experience trading with each other. We know that's something the Mavs like for whatever reason. They made 2 trades in the last calendar year. $8 million this year next. Cody Martin. Rob Pelinka. Who could Suns trade for him? Dunn and Royce. Off limits. Oh. Okay, buddy. Who could Suns trade for him? Nothing! Suns fans! That HBS broke your fucking brains. Nothing. You got nothing. You have nothing. Nothing to trade. Okay? God. The Raptors are open to helping facilitate a potential Jimmy Butler trade. I'm now starting to think Beal gets rerouted to the Raptors. The Raptors say, fuck it. We'll take the 2031 pick. That to us is valuable because we think you guys will be terrible by then. And give us Bradley Beal. We'll take it. And then the Heat get like Bruce Brown and Chris Boucher. And Davion Mitchell, sure. So you're trading Jimmy Butler for Bruce Brown, Chris Boucher, and Davion. God, that's so disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, but then you have to... Does Bradley Beal go play in Toronto? So look, I'll just say this real quick, and I don't even like really harping on this or anything like that because I don't foresee a scenario where this happens. I would trade Daniel Gafford for an impact wing defender, a player on the wing who you can slot in to play 25, 30, 35 minutes in a playoff series. Absolutely, I would do that, and I wouldn't think twice about it. That's that. I don't like even saying it because then it sounds like, I'm shitting on Gafford or whatever the case may be. That's really not it. I really like Gafford. I respect his game quite a bit. He is very important to this team currently. And with Lively in and out the lineup, yes. I think a lot of Gafford struggles this season, and he just had a phenomenal game against the Pelicans. But I think a lot of Gafford's struggles this season could directly be tied to Luka Doncic not playing in over half the games. So that means back to Powell minutes? Not necessarily. I mean, they could go out and make another trade. What would losing Gafford for an injured Herb Jones say for this season? I'd be saying yes, the season is toast on a 25-26. I don't think that's happening. I talked about it on my Bleacher Report stream, which I know all of you were at and watching vigilantly. But I don't get the logic for the Pelicans, really. The idea would be, sweet. Herb Jones is injured now. Now we can buy a little bit low and go in and get him. And if I'm the Pelicans, I'm like, I've got him 2 years left after this year at $12 million a year. Why on earth would I sell low? Yeah, you can rewatch the Bleacher Report stream on the Bleacher Report app, on the Dallas Mavericks feed. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll find it. Just get BI. He fixes so many issues and he's super cheap. Well, he's not cheap. He's making, $40 million? It's like impossible for the Mavericks to scrape together the money. What was the logic for Portland trading Drew for 2 injured players and Rob, Will, and Brogdon? Well, I mean, Drew never played a game there. Drew was making more money than Herb Jones. Drew was older than Herb Jones. Drew was 33 years old when that trade happened. So it's not like you have years to sit around. Yeah, we can wait. We don't have to trade him now. We can trade him next offseason, next trade deadline. Sometimes these NBA teams are just dumb, is my point. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't imagine it. We want to know what I'm worried about. Matisse Thybulle. We know how much the Mavs love circling the wagons on guys that they wanted before. And it always sort of felt like, hey, Matisse Thybulle, the Mavs sent him an offer sheet. He accepted it. The Blazers matched. And there was always sort of this wink-wink thing. I remember the reporting at the time. It was like a wink-wink thing, like, Matisse Thybulle will end up in Dallas at some point. Hasn't played a game yet this season. $11 million this year, $11 million player option next year. Maxey. But then it's like, what Maxey in a second? Do the Blazers even fucking say yes to that? And then it is like Matisse Thybulle in the playoffs. Mavs are fucked. They've been blown by. They have not been blown by. They've been passed by some teams. No team in the West is blowing by anybody currently. Besides the Thunder. I mean, look, here, the theoretical thing. Gafford for Herb. I see so many Mavs fans. I would not do this. Herb Jones is playing 35 minutes a game for you in the playoffs. 0 questions asked. 0 questions asked. That's somebody you absolutely trade for. I just don't think it doesn't make sense to me why the Pelicans would do it. That's just where it's. What's a move my Hawks should make? Zach Razaster is ruining me. Zach Razaster? Oh, no. You're saying Gaff isn't getting minutes in the playoffs? I mean, Gaff's getting like 15 minutes in the playoffs. Gaff averaged 20 minutes a game in the postseason last year, and that's when his standing with the team was like at an all-time high. Luka, Kyrie, Herb, PJ Lively is a disgusting starting five. That is a nasty as fuck starting five. Will you commit to a 6-hour stream breaking the ramifications for the Mavs if they get Herb? Yes, I will stream for 6 consecutive hours if the Mavericks trade for Herb Jones. Stamp it in. 6 consecutive hours. Lock it in. What was the other one I did? I said if the Mavericks traded for Cat, I would stream for 8 hours doing Luka Doncic mock trades. Granted, this was a couple years ago when Cat's value was in the toilet. Luka and Cat would be kind of disgusting. I'm thinking about it now. Luka playing next to a stretch like that. Gafford played 10 minutes each of the last 2 finals game. Herb would play 30 plus. Yeah, I mean, those guys do not grow on trees. I shed a tear when you said yesterday that the Mavs' true starting five is the best in the league. Yep. Dominating teams. I mean, what do you say? You just got to get healthy. I mean, I really do understand everyone's frustrations. The frustration is that they're so injured. That's the frustration. That's the frustration. Some interesting trade slots.